To the end zone again for London, who makes the catch.
Great competitors love man-to-man coverage at wide receiver.
Just throw it up and let him come down.
You can be forgiven for confusing Drake London with a basketball player on the football field as he outleaps helpless defensive backs in the red zone. After all, the former USC wide receiver actually played on the hard court for the Trojans during his freshman year on campus. But while London's size is impossible to miss, it's his run after the catch that is harder to understand. Few players of his stature are able to run with the ball better than London, whose big play upside, and yes, his size in the red zone, made him an unstoppable force in 2021. The 6'5" Dominator secured 88 catches for nearly 1,100 yards in just 8 games last year, good enough to be named the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year despite an abbreviated season. Now he has what it takes to become the best receiver in this year's draft. Let's start it off here with a little bit of a route running and run after catch exercise from Drake London. And you're probably sitting there saying to yourself, like, he's 6'5". He must play on the perimeter on every snap, right? Not so fast. Here's Drake London right here. UCLA, USC. This is a great uniform matchup, by the way. He's got man coverage on this player right here. And watch himself. He's thinking to himself, this defensive player is, all right, I've got Drake London. He's breaking towards the middle of the field. This is sort of the route that Drake London, the defensive player, thinks Drake London is running. We'll see what actually happens once he gets going. So good ability to use his eyes right there to sell that sort of slant or in-breaking route. And then next thing you know, it's off to the races. And look at the separation right there, which I know it doesn't look like much, like that gap right there. But to have a step or a step and a half on a defensive player in the open field with really no deep safety on your side of the field, you might as well just be putting in a for sale sign like, throw me the football down the field because I'm going to score a touchdown right here. Here's the throw, and what does Drake London do? Corrals it over his shoulder, and then look at where he catches the ball. And then look where he actually is tackled. He catches the ball at the 15-yard line. Contact begins around the 12. He just drags that defensive player all the way down to like the 6-inch line. The size shows up, as does the route running right there from Drake London. We move things forward here, and this is a player you're going to see London kind of coming in short motion right here. USC is in the red zone, right on the 20-yard line. So at this point, the field condenses. You don't see as much vertical stuff down the field, but that run after catch is what makes Drake London so unique. He's short motioning, which allows USC to realize it's not man-to-man coverage. There's going to be some space here for Drake London to work in this really short route. This is about as easy as it gets. Look at an RPO for the quarterback. He's got the opportunity to hand the football off to the running back. Instead, he keeps the ball and hits Drake London, and then this is where stuff gets good. He catches the ball about the 18-yard line, and then just watch this here. I don't always advise jumping when you are a ball carrier. There's a lot of bad that can happen, especially at the goal line when there's running backs trying to jump over the pile. I've seen too many plays where the ball is jarred loose, and it's a 98-yard fumble return going the other way. But Drake London, this is just kind of cool, casual, and easy. Like, everything looks smooth with Drake London. It's not choppy, it's not deliberate, it's just right up the field. This is a guy who knows exactly what he is doing. He's a man on the mission. There is a touchdown, 6 points right there for USC. All right, I mentioned that USC-UCLA elite uniform game. It's also a big rivalry game. You know these games matter when these two teams are playing, and you're going to see Drake London all the way down the field right here, and he's kind of already won in this case in terms of his route running and the coverage. Might be a little bit of a coverage bust by UCLA, but this is a play where he catches the ball, and you might not think he's going to score a touchdown. Look at, he catches the ball, and you've already got this safety kind of converging on him. You've got another safety not that far behind, trying to come down and make a play. Next thing you know, Drake London off to the races. Now, not good. We don't want to fumble the football. However, that being said, Drake London keeps his eyes on the football and just kind of keeps running. At this point, 1, 2, 3, 4 UCLA defenders are within probably 1.5 yards or 2 yards of Drake London. And what does he do? He spins his way, drags his way all the way into the end zone. It was like a party of UCLA defenders who had no ability to bring Drake London down. Let's see it one more time. I want to run clean here, just so you can appreciate the run after the catch here. All these players, 1, 2, same guy again, 3, 4, 5 UCLA defensive players, a 6 at the very end have a chance to bring him down. None are able to do so for Drake London. I think this play you see right here might be what you think of most when you think about what could make Drake London unique at the next level. And it reminds shades of Mike Evans. This right here is good coverage by the defensive back. Well, I should say this. Drake London is covered. It's perhaps sloppy coverage and maybe defensive pass interference, But when the ball is thrown to Drake London, he is not uncovered. He is not open. But watch what happens all the same. Let this play run. He's got a little bit of an outbreak, trying to sell inside, kind of reestablish the leverage, and then work his way back out. Pretty simple vertical route here from Drake London. Again, look at this. Defensive back already pulled Drake London's towel from his waist, so there's a little bit of grabbing going. You can see that much. At the point of catch, look at these two. Again, this defensive player, not in bad spot. This is not a bad spot. This is a pretty good job of blanketing Drake London. And yet what happens by Drake London? Look at him turn his body back towards the ball, go up, and this is the part that I love. When you are a wide receiver, you cannot wait for the ball to come find you. You have to go get it. So watch his hands right here. He's going to leap up and get the ball at that high point right there. That's the kind of thing that really shows up in the red zone when you're working with multiple boundaries, the sideline, the end zone back line as well. This play right here on a move the chains type of throw, exactly what you can see with Drake London. It's one thing that he can run after the catch, but that size he can put to use is so unique, makes him one of the most unstoppable players amongst the wide receivers in this year's class. Brings it down and says, yeah, I got that one. 2022 brings yet another deep pool of wide receiver prospects. But look for Drake London to make an impact on Sundays right away.